Good evening, one and all, and welcome back to the Empire of Mordor. And yes, it is now an empire. I would say, after having conquered one faction, 1.5 factions, Rohan is basically a shell of its former self. Much like the elves, after conquering 3 big factions, I think we now have enough land to call ourselves an empire. What do you think? Let's have a poll. Do you think we're a kingdom, or do you think we're an empire? Is Sauron more of an emperor, or is he more of a king? Alright guys, welcome back to Mordor. Lots of fun today. Let's see what's going on. First things first, we've got our Nazgul now in the, what is this, the hinterlands of Ithilien. We're in the Morgul Vale, actually. More technically, he's building his army in the Morgul Vale. He's waiting for all of his troll units to arrive. We've got 1, we've got 2, and we've got a 3rd coming via Minas Morgul. We're going to meet up with Akorahil, the blind sorcerer, pretty soon here, and then he's going to march to destroy Kiroin the Profane. I still have no good reason for doing this other than this fucking guy. I can hold a grudge for a ridiculous amount of time, as Kiroin the Profane will soon learn. Alright, so that's what's going on just outside of Minas Morgul. Now, Sauron himself, king/emperor, depending on how you vote. I'm just kidding. We're not gonna run a vote. If you really do want to, let's say, quote-unquote, vote, just leave a comment down below. Because, as we all know, the more comments I have, the better my channel is rated. So basically, leave whatever kind of comment you want. If you want to call me a shithead, or any other humorous insult you can think of, weirdly enough, I'm okay with it, because not only are you giving me like 1/100th of a penny for stopping in and watching 5 seconds of an ad, but you are also leaving a comment which is considered as feedback, which will ultimately it all affects the analytics. I'm just fucking around. All right, so we're gonna move Sauron just north of Aldburg, and it appears that he is finally. Good Lord, Dark Lord Sauron, he's finally arrived in Rohan, or what used to be Rohan. He's just crossed whatever fucking river this is. Honestly, I don't know. He's now north of Aldburg, and we have troops, fresh troops, sitting in Entwade waiting for him. We pulled them from Edoras. You know what, when you say pulled from Edoras, it just sounds like I pulled them out of my ass, which could potentially be the title of the video. Maybe if I, maybe if I workshop a little bit, go to the writer's room, we could spitball a bit, maybe chisel it down. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know. Okay, so we got some troops coming from Woldburg. 2 units there. We're missing some garbage tier units, but luckily Sauron has brought a shit ton of his own. So in 2 turns, he'll finally build an army in Entwade, and from there, maybe finally take out our hated foe Oswin, who is ridiculously close to a small force of units that I wanted to retrain in Entwade. They're heading back. There were some units outside of Foldburg led by some sort of captain. I can't remember his name, but they've now moved into the city itself, and we actually have 4 units of archers here. The most archers we've ever gathered in one place in all of the Empire of Mordor's history. Amazing. But these guys are going to head back to Entwade for retraining. Speaking of retraining, I've just done a shit ton of retraining and recruitment in Karis Galadin, Limelight Fort, Woldburg, and Malgalad, Minas Morgul, all that shit. So I had a bunch of units in Limelight Fort, split them. Now half of them are heading to Amangastal. The other, I'm still doing that. I don't know, Amangastal, as if I'm of the Gestapo. Amangastal. It's like, would that be a soft S? Gastal? I don't know what you would call this sound. Shh. Is that a soft S? I'll see myself out. Anyway, we're moving some troops up to Amangastal, and we've got some troops actually heading towards... They're gonna head to Foldburg ultimately, but now that Oswin's in the way, they could potentially serve as reinforcements to Lagduff the Honorable, potentially, if need be. We also have a new candidate for adoption. Let's take a small detour and take a look at this guy. Shagthak wants to adopt Shaglur because he really likes to confuse people. It's just kind of his thing. You know how some people like cars, some people, I don't know, collect Playboy magazines. Can you consider that a collection? I guess. I mean, you're not going to put it on display anywhere. Or maybe you would if you're like incredibly ballsy and you don't care about what people think of you. Anyway, Shagthak he doesn't give a shit, and he really wants to confuse everyone in the entirety of the Empire of Mordor. So he's going to have a son named Shaglur. Very interesting. He is a night fighter, talent for command, blah, blah, blah. He's all sorts of shit, and we're going to adopt him. Basically, that was a roundabout... Oh my god, Shaglur is dead too. This is now the second time in a row, I think, where we've had candidates for adoption just end up incredibly dead. We really got to look at what's going on here. There's some sort of epidemic. The smart and upcoming names in our kingdom, they're being picked off one by one. Some sort of assassin, maybe like a... I don't know, what's the protagonist from Shadow of Mordor? What's that game called? Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor? There's now a Shadow of War. I don't know, he's like some sort of Spectre Ranger, Wraith Ranger, I'm not sure. Wraith Ranger? That didn't really work that well. Anyway, what did we just read? We read about how we are now in very good standing with the Dark Lord of Mordor, which is great. We are the highest rated faction in the entirety of the world. And interestingly enough, Harad is dipping behind. The Dark Lord of Mordor has little good to say about Harad. Also Run, which is very interesting. I wonder if at some point that will give us Casus Belli to attack Harad. I say that, but then I look at the Hornburg and I tremble in fear. What do you have?
Prisoners, only heads.
Only heads.
Do not be unnerved by my methods. They work.
Oh my god. Okay, we've also built some shit in Amenophuin and Arendelle. Oh, I wanted to finish talking about reinforcement. Not a lot going on, actually, in that regard. Mostly the shit about Limelight Fort. We're moving troops around in Mirkwood. We've now got two fairly large stacks of units. I actually wanted to organize these guys off camera, and I neglected to do that. So maybe I'll just leave them be for now. We pulled them out of Rosgabel. I think, yeah, we'll swing by Bjorn's Halls, and we'll build an army for Dawn Death. A proper army. He's got a pretty good army now, but let's fill out his ranks. We'll get him a lieutenant in the form of Lugdush, I would think. And then we'll get Dawn Death to... Do we want him to march north? Okay, let's see. He's 3 turns from Thranduil's Halls. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give a bunch of units to Dawn Death. Dawn Death is then going to leapfrog over to Thranduil's Halls with his lieutenant in the form of Lugdush. But no, well, shit, that doesn't work, because Dwarf Wa is sitting around with his thumb up his ass. Okay, so you know what? We'll get Dwarf Wa to meet him up there, just to make sure that the road is clear. I think we can march through here. We can. Okay, so then... Dwarf Wa will then, once I select him, he'll take whatever troops he has, start fucking around in Dale. We'll get Uvatha the Horseman to meet him. I'm sure Uvatha the Horseman can do some damage on his own. We really need some intel, though, so we're going to get... What spies do we have kicking around? Just the 1, 2... Okay, we'll get that guy over there, and you know what? Let's get Dwarf Wa to build a tower right away. Let's do that. Boom. Hopefully he doesn't get fucking ambushed by elves in the woods. You know, that's not something they do often. They're not known to ambush their enemies in the woods. No. That's not an elvish thing to do. They would rather meet their enemies in an open field engagement sort of situation, I guess. We all know this. It's a classical elvish move. Anyway, we've now got some intel as to what the elves are doing. I see the dwarves are beginning to... Oh, good lord. King Dane, the tyrant. Good lord. Did you fucking hear that? Did I and I alone hear that? Once I kill you, your family's next. Sounds like Mel Gibson on a bender. Okay, so... Yeah, that's what we can do. We've got some intel. Maybe we can get this guy to, yeah, do something like that. Yeah, it's coming together. It's coming together. I do have a bunch of slots open for spies. I think just the one? No, we've now got 2. Okay. Let's get another spy. Not in the north, actually. We need some spies in the west, so maybe, I don't think Foldberg, no. Of course not. Edoras. Can I pull a spy out of Edoras? See, it sounds like out of your ass, I'm telling you. Okay, let's take a quick look at the list. I know this is all terribly, I would think, quite boring. Looking at menus and things. Oh shit, that's not at all what I wanted to do. Oh, okay, that's... Oh, I see, it's a double click. Okay, we've got Lug, our good friend Lugnut, kicking around outside of the mountain fort. That's just fine. We just need him to stay there, actually.
Hurry up.
We'll keep an eye on these crossroads here.
This way.
Kind of like that. Okay. That's Lug, Mahirs, and Fangorn. Keeping an eye there. Gazer in the Westfold. Okay, so we've actually got this guy kicking around because the Rohirrim are being a little tricky and they're hiding in and amongst trees. And it's fucking annoying. We've got Gorlun in High Pass and he's going to follow these guys. Oh my god, there's a fucking city right here. Goblin Town. Oh, good lord. It's held by dwarves. It's now Dwarf Town. Yeah, it's a dwarven large city now. I think... Yeah, these are the orcs that have been destroyed for many a year now. So it looks like some of the allies of the elves and the elves themselves are trying to retreat into Goblin Town. We'll have to deal with that at some point. Muzgag. What a name. Muzgaz? In the Misty Mountains. Oh, he's looking at Moria. Alright. A lot of shit going on in Moria. Look at this. So, I'm old Greg. That's what this fucking guy looks like. He's kicking around outside of Framsburg. That's just fine. Ugbag. Outside of Foldberg. Oh, he's inside Foldberg. Okay, we don't need that at all. I need you to take a look at Gnird. Okay. Where are we now? Lunshag. I've got so many spies. So many spies. Many spies with many eyes. This is our useless assassin Mawbag. Let's get him killed, please. 5%. Oh my god, look at this guy. Lord Vinitharia. What a name. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Will he get killed? What if he actually is successful? Now I know that this video is incredibly immersion breaking, but I just want to see Mawbag finally meet his doom. I think this is it. Oh, Mawbag, you piece of shit! I need you to fucking die. You're too good for such... You are too good for how shitty of an assassin you are. One fucking point and you somehow escape. How is that? You even have a negative trait. I just want you to die. I really wish we could disband agents in Medieval 2. But it's not meant to be. Okay, Grasgard, we'll have to take a look at that eventually. And oh my god, look at all these captains. Good lord. I am just paying so much money in just administrative fees alone. For every captain, you know, he has like a staff of 20 dudes just following him around, wiping his ass, that kind of thing. Okay, so all of our spies are basically assigned much more thoroughly than I could have anticipated, actually. I thought I had a bunch just kind of kicking around, but no. Oh shit, we're losing troops in Erendelen, actually, which is way up here. Yeah, we're losing a bunch of troops because they have the fucking plague. There's not much we can do about it at this particular moment in time. Can we really get another spy? So what do we got? One in Aldberg. Is that the closest? Yeah, it seems so. Most everywhere else is busy recruiting. Okay, so we've got now 3 spies on the way. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna get Doravois to come through here, and Uvatha the Horseman to come up the through the south. The thing is, I think River Run is a little bit better guarded than Grasgard, so we could probably just cross into Grasgard, get some support from our allies in the form of the Runic forces. Let's see. Is this place captured yet? It seems so. Okay. Can we bribe Grasgard? No? Can I perform mission on this character? Okay. Because he's what? Oh, I cannot perform any missions on these characters. Wonderful. Who can I perform missions on? What? I can't perform missions on anyone. Here's another guy that I want to fucking die. Ugrat, please. I know you're a translator. You're just like the best diplomat in the entirety of Mordor, but you're also incredibly useless, unfortunately. I think that's about it for this turn. We did a bit of an overview here, so it's a bit of a longer turn. I realize that. I usually want to do turns in like 5-10 minutes, but it never fucking happens. Anyway, I think I'll take a minute or two to kind of sort out this admin situation here. We need to shuffle the units around, build some armies, and I'm going to do that off screen, and I'll see you guys in just a moment or two with the start of turn 254. See you then. Alright guys, we're back, and I've built a shitty army up in the north. And I mean shitty in that somehow I didn't have enough movement points to actually merge these armies, so it's kind of a mishmash at the moment. So let's see, we've got our 3 orc band, we've got some Morning Guard. I think I have 1 extra orc band in the stack with Dawn Death, and this should be it. There we go. Okay, so we've got some garbage orc band, some Morning Guard, some orc raiders, and just a shit ton of heavily armored units in the form of Uruks, Olagai, Uruk archers. I guess you could consider the Morning Guard heavily armored. I'm not sure. Yeah, much more armored than... In fact, they have twice the armor our orc band do. So ultimately, I would like Dawn Death to eventually just have an entirely Uruk army. But we are still having logistical issues. And I wanted to leave some units for... Well, actually, you know what? In Dunafel, you're going to have some maulers, okay? We're going to grab these 2 units of Uruk halberds, and we're going to give them to Dawn Death. There we go. So we've removed the armored core from the other 2 armies, and we've now just bestowed them upon Dawn Death, who is going to have to do all of the heavy lifting on his own, essentially. We now have a bunch of reinforcements heading from Dol Guldur up to Bjorn's Halls. We've got some retrainees coming from Rose Gabel and Bjorn's Halls down to Dol Guldur. It's kind of like not like a circuit. I guess it's a circuit in the sense that a circuit just means that there's a continual path from one point to another, or several points, I guess. Whenever I think of circuit, I always think of, you know, electricity. I don't think circuit as in racing, which is a legitimate term, I think. But we're getting off track here. Anyway, we've now got this mailed fist led by Dawn Death, and I think he's going to have to cross the river here to destroy the remnants of these dwarven armies and these elven armies. Oh my god, it's led by Brett McKenzie of Flight of the Conchords. Amazing. Or, alternatively, we could just take Dawn Death north. I think that's what we're going to have to do. Dawn Death is badass enough. Oh, we might have to deal with Captain Killy on the way. I'm not sure. Either way.
Get ready for fighting.
Actually, yeah, we'll take Dawn Death and his companion north. And see, here's the thing. I've got these garbage units.
Get ready for fighting.
And actually, yeah, we'll leave 1 catapult for Adunafel. Okay, we've now got 3 troll catapults led by Lugdush, as far as he can go, all the way up there. And we're going to bestow upon Lugdush a small command of what? We've got these garbage units. How many raider units? 4 orc band. Let's take 2 orc band, 2 armored orc band. No, we'll take the shit one, and we'll give them to Lugdush. Boom. Lugdush is going to be the siege component of Dawn Death's army. Whoops, not what I meant to do. And they will move as 1 up to Thranduil's Halls. Wonderful. You know what I think I want to do, actually? I think I want to give Uvatha the Horseman, again, a proper army. He's going to push out to Grasgard. Oh, I see they finally captured... What is this city? They finally captured Riverrun. Should we rush towards Grasgard? Yeah, I don't think... Oh, shit. Boar. Boar is a turn or two away. How far are we? Very far. We are also a turn or two away. He's going to arrive before us, unfortunately. But I think that's what I'll do. I'll get Dawn Death to head north and across up to Thranduil's Halls. We'll take a few units. We'll strip out Dorvoir's army, Lord of Terror. And, oh, what's happened here? We've moved some units into the city, and that's taken up Dawn, or rather, Dorvoir, taken up his slot. There we go. We could probably merge a bunch of these units, actually. Have we done this already? I think we have. Speaking of, let's take some of these weaker units. That's basically it, to my eye. These Uruk archers are kind of weak as well. You know what, we'll leave the missile units. We'll take these Uruks. No, we'll leave the Uruks and we'll send them to Dol Guldur. Tons of retraining happening there. Okay, yeah, off camera, at the end of the episode, I'll build an army for Uvatha. He'll head across to rush to capture Grasgard, because we would like that territory. Dawn Death up north. I do also have a small army for Ren the Unclean. Nothing for Lunluck at the moment. Basically, his army is going to be consisting entirely of garbage tier units, which is going to make the assault into the mountains a little bit rough. So I imagine if we besiege the mountain fort, they're just going to sally out because, well, of course, we will have... we will have overwhelming numbers, so I'm not sure if they will sally out or not, but to my mind, they will sally out. So I think what we'll do for now is just keep Ren the Unclean in garrison of Amangastal, and he can strike out at, for example, Prince Thranduil, whoever tries to come out of the mountain fort. And in fact, we could probably build our own forts somewhere in here if we want to get crazy. In the meantime, we'll have to distribute some of these garbage units further upstream. For example, this unit and this unit, I think we can send over to Rosgabel. Okay, we now have 4 units of Orc Band, which is a bit too much. 5 units of Morning Guard. Yeah, you know what, let's take something like that. We'll send them over to Rosgabel as well. We really need more Uruks and Maulers in general, so if we could recruit / retrain nothing in Karis Galadin, interestingly. Karen Mroth, perhaps? Retrain? I don't know. Anyway, I'll do all this stuff off camera. For the time being, let's take a look at another candidate, Shagthak. Now realizing that the reason that Shagthur was killed was because their names were far too similar and it was far too confusing, has instead opted to adopt a guy by the name Gash, which, the name, it's derived from the crooked gash of a smile that he has. Very interesting and very artistic, actually. Holy shit. What is happening? Is it Shagthir? Is that what's going on here? Is it that there's not enough space in some settlement somewhere? Am I just losing my mind? Name, Shagthir. A to S. Z, Shagthak, Sauron the Fearless. Who the fuck is Shagthir? Shagthur? Oh, I just saw it. Shagthak. Am I crazy? Or do I not have a dude by the name of Shagthur? Radhir, Muslan, Musluk, Musbag. What is going on, guys? I am so confused. Gordush, the Honest, our good friend, that piece of shit Gordush, even now has 0 command. I am incredibly confused. What's going on here? This is another mystery that's going to have to be solved off camera. I know Sauron has a lord with him. I think it's Shagthak. Shagthak. Okay, what is going on? I am incredibly confused. Who is it that's trying to adopt people? And where are they? you guys can shed some light on this situation, that would be helpful. It's not often that I'm at a loss for words, just because I have simply no idea what the fuck is going on in Medieval 2, but this is one of those cases. I have no idea. That's now 3 dudes in a row that have responded. Well, they haven't responded to the letters, actually. It's a lack of response, which I guess you could consider a response. The third guy in a row that has just up and died. Very interesting. Okay, we've now built some shit. Foldberg's repaired. Speaking of Foldberg, we're also going to have to strike out here with Hormarath, I think, to take care of Captain Osfrid. Oswin, interestingly enough, has snuck up next to Fangorn. Look at this. This fucking asshole right here. We're going to need these reinforcements now that Oswin's there. We have 2 turns until Fangorn has been starved out, but Oswin, as I said, is going to complicate matters. Is that his army? This is his army. Interesting. Yes, we will, Oswin, you literal piece of shit. If I were to kill Oswin and then I searched his body and it was just a big human turd wearing armor of Rohan, I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't. We've got a bunch of recruitment happening, just an absolute fuck ton of recruitment, and I'm gonna forget about those spies. I can almost, that's a certainty, I think. We've got Sauron moving up. We've got Akori Hill building his army. Another turn, and we will be able to march to destroy fucking Kirwin. I think one of you commenters left, interestingly enough, a comment, and you had said that it would be poetic that we destroy Kirwin with just trolls and trolls alone. So I think that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna get these trolls, these Alakai. We're gonna get all 3 units plus Akori Hill, and we're gonna march down there, kick his ass, and that's about it. We've got a bunch of garbage tier orcs that are gonna escort him to, I don't know, where should we send Akori Hill? The west? I think we're gonna need his assistance, perhaps, in the mountain range here, which is, of course, the Misty Mountains. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas, just leave a comment. For now, I think we're gonna end it off here. So I just want to say thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment. Always appreciated. If you want to get in touch with me, check me out on Twitter. I'm most active there. This has been another episode of the Mordor campaign. As always, my name is Incoherence, and I'll see you all later. Have a good fucking day.